You guys won't believe this, but I, Tony Watley II, am actually a super powerful psychic. Don't believe me? Well, watch this. Give it a second. Maybe if I just focus a little harder. Oh my God! Look, guys! It bent. I really am a super powerful psychic. Yeah, I don't think my roommates are gonna be happy that we have one less spoon to use. Oops. Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy here today to review the anime One Punch Psychic, or as they're calling it these days, Mob Psycho 100. Now, Mob Psycho 100 tells the story of Shigeru Kageyama, otherwise known as Mob, a middle school boy with incredible psychic abilities who assists his master, a con artist named Regan, with exorcisms now and again. But he also attempts to better himself so that he can get the attention of this really cute girl in his class, but gets roped into crazy situation after crazy situation, which pushes his powers to the breaking point. Now, this anime was brought to us by the same creative mind behind One Punch Man, which I don't even need to tell you because not only have you heard it a dozen times before, but just by looking at the first episode, you could tell that this is from the same person that created One Punch Man. I mean, an overpowered, stoic-looking protagonist in a zany world, and features a character who literally has balls for chins, who appears in the very first minutes of the first episode. I mean, dead giveaway. And when going into this anime, the first thing that came to my mind was, is this just gonna be a psychic version of One Punch Man, or will it be something more? Maybe even something greater than One Punch Man? And what do I think of this anime? Well, let's get into it. Let's take a look at the animation. Now, interestingly enough, Mob Psycho 100 was actually made by a different animation studio than One Punch Man. One Punch Man was made by Madhouse, and Mob Psycho 100 was made by Bones. And let me tell you, Bones did an amazing job with the animation here. It has a distinct look with its rough and coarse edges and weird yet unique character designs. And the movements are fluid and bursting with energy. The colors really pop out. This world is vivid and lively, yet sometimes can be dark and menacing. And as always, the animation truly shines with its intense and thrilling action sequences. Fast-paced, energetic, creative, and riveting. Those are just a few of the words I would use to describe the action in Mob Psycho 100. I dare say that the action here is way better than the one seen in One Punch Man. And why is that? Well, not only is it visually more fun to watch, as I rarely get to see psychic action in play, but it's more gripping and engaging because there's actual weight to the action scenes here. Almost every single fight in this anime has purpose to them, rather than just being pointless brawls. They can either showcase a character's true personality or help facilitate a character's growth. Not only that, but they're actually challenging to the characters. The problem with One Punch Man's action is that it wasn't challenging to Saitama, the main character. They were just a breeze. Here in Mob Psycho 100, though Mob is basically the psychic Saitama, the character is challenged in his fights, not just physically, but also mentally. Now, the story here is captivating and surprisingly ever evolving. When you first see the anime, you think to yourself, oh, this is gonna be an episodic series following an overpowered psychic kid and his comic relief master as they go around, solve cases, and exorcise demons. And after 3 episodes, it's just gonna grow stale, stagnant, and boring like you've seen it all already. But no! The story actually switches up. Sometimes they do exorcise demons, but other times, like he has to deal with a cult, or he has to deal with a threat, maybe he has to deal with some personal issues. The story changes up a bit and keeps you interested in what's going on. But most impressively of all, it fixes one of the biggest issues faced by most anime that center around an OP character. Instead of primarily focusing on the strength of the lead, which they do from time to time in the anime, they also focus focus on his strength in relation to others and how it makes them feel as individuals, as well as showcasing the character trying to better himself on a personal level without the use of his incredible powers. And yes, before you go typing in the comments, I'm very well aware that Digibro also touched upon this point in his own video discussing Mob Psycho 100, which is a really good analysis video. I definitely recommend checking it out if you have not seen it already, and if you haven't, how have you not? I mean, come on, it's from Digibro. There's probably a link up here to that video, but I also felt like he left out a couple things, at least in regards to the story. Now, to be fair, the talking points in this video was primarily on the main character of the series and not the series as a whole. But since I am reviewing the series as a whole, I feel like this needs to be stated. The show is not just about Mob's personal growth and improvement. The entire show is about that. This is a show about characters with inferiority complex that go through some growth and change in their characters, whether it's them forming a sense of humility or finally realizing their personal worth. And that right there is what makes this story so great. It has so much depth to it, but it's also a lot of fun to watch. And finally, the characters, each of which were dynamic and fascinating in their own way, from the main characters to the supporting characters. They all had worth, they all contributed, and they all had purpose. There were 3 real standouts in the entire anime, and I'm going to go into great detail on each of them. Obviously, I'm going to first talk about the titular character of the anime, Mob, who is a shining example of how to do an OP character right. Again, Digibro pretty much summed up everything that needs to be said about this character in his own video, like the fact that although he's super powerful, it's not enough to get him what he truly wants, so he strives to better himself on a personal level to reach his goals without having to use his powers. He's a fine example of a character that pushes himself to the limit and actually tries to make himself a better person. But I also feel like there are some things I can contribute to the conversation as well. For one, the anime highlights both the character's strengths and his weaknesses, showcasing his uncanny psychic abilities that are unmatched throughout the series, but also acknowledging the character's lack of social skills and physical strength. This balance helps to ground the character and makes him more relatable to the audience. Mob also has a great moral compass, not using his powers irresponsibly, such as for personal gain or against other people who don't have psychic abilities, and is a very caring and devoted brother with a strong relationship with his younger brother. And since I brought him up, let's talk about Ritsu, who I thought had the most interesting personal conflict and the best development throughout the series. He's definitely the personification of the grass is greener on the other side phrase, seeing the greatness in his brother and being envious of his gifts while ignoring his own greatness and personal worth. I truly empathize with this character throughout the series, especially since I too was in a situation very similar to his. I too am a younger brother, and I used to look up to my brother and be jealous of his talents and his gifts. And I would say to myself, I wish I had what he had, while also ignoring all the great things that I had. This sibling rivalry plays a crucial role in the drama of the anime. It's very well done, it's intense, it's emotional, and had a great resolution to it. And then we got the comedic con man himself, Regan. Much like how Mob is an OP character done right, Regan is a comic relief character done right. This character with his big ego and zany antics always got a laugh from me, and I couldn't help but smile whenever I would see the character appear on screen. And he's a great foil to Mob's very calm, stoic demeanor. The two make a dynamic duo. And not only is the character hilarious, but he also serves a purpose to the story and its characters. He's a vital part of Mob's development in the anime and helps lead him down the right path. Now, that to me is an excellently done comic relief character, and I wish we could see more of these in anime. And now let's get to the cons! You know, to be honest, guys, I didn't really find any major issues or concerns with Mob Psycho 100. Yeah, sure, once again, I had a few irritations here and there, but they weren't enough to detract from the anime or ruin the overall experience. I still absolutely adored the anime. Yeah, sure, I wish they could have explored a little bit of these, but what they gave us still was excellent. It's a solid story. A few of the irritations I had is I wish they would have done more exorcisms throughout the anime. I mean, I think it's only in the first 3 episodes that you actually get to see some exorcisms, but then that's it. You don't really see any more after that. And it kind of sucks because I felt like they were going to do a little bit more exorcisms and we're going to see all sorts of various ghosts and see some unique character designs for these ghosts, but nope, after episode 3, it's more of a personal arc dealing with the characters, and that's not a bad thing. I love that. But it would have been nice to see a balance between, like, the personal stories and the exorcisms, at least for me, honestly. And another thing that's just for me is I would have loved if Mob could have gone on a date with the various girls that he interacted in the anime with. Now, there is this one character that he sort of goes on a date with, but it's not really a date. They just kind of hang out and try to find some telepaths. And I would have loved if he could have interacted with the girl that he had a crush on. That would have been interesting, just to see one interaction. We don't get that in the entire anime, which kind of bummed me out. I'm like, come on. The whole point of Mob trying to grow and become a better person is so that he can interact with this girl, and we don't really see any real progression with that. Kind of sucks. But again, it's not really the focus. And then the last thing that kind of irritated me was that there was this moral they teach nearing the end that on a personal level, I did not agree with. I don't want to give away what it is, but it kind of irked me. When I heard it, I'm like, no, it doesn't register with me, and I don't buy into that philosophy. That's a terrible lesson to teach somebody who has the sort of skills that Mob has. That's as vague as I'm going to put it. So overall, not only did Mob Psycho 100 exceed all of my expectations, but it completely blows One Punch Man out of the water. This should have been the anime to get all the praises. This should have been the anime to get #1 on IMDb's best TV shows. And this is definitely one of the best anime I've seen in 2016. And it will get, obviously, a 5 out of 5 stars. It is an epic masterpiece, and I cannot wait to see more from Mob Psycho 100. I'm more excited to hear an announcement for Season 2 for Mob Psycho 100 than I am for One Punch Man. But as always, I'm not the end-all be-all opinion when it comes to Mob Psycho 100, so I would love to know what you guys thought about the anime as well. Did you absolutely adore it and think it's way better than One Punch Man? It's one of the best animes of the year, which you find really boring, generic, you really couldn't get into it, you don't care, and you liked One Punch Man better. And let me know, which one did you prefer? One Punch Man or Mob Psycho 100? Comment below, let me know, and stay tuned. You probably might have another anime review coming real soon. I will be doing a BCG mail tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. And I got some movie reviews and other videos I gotta make. It's just so much work! So much work! And as always, guys, if you'd like to see more videos on this channel and be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm talking about the psychic, known as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.
Yes.